Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, we'll be doing a story time, as you guys can see in the title. It's an obstacle we overcame and as newlyweds. Yes. And like through the obstacle we went through, I guess that made us like our relationship closer to God, and we saw how he like made us pass through a storm, and at the end everything worked out the way he wanted it. Okay, so when we got married, we first lived at this woman's house, and then from there we moved to his brother's. We moved in with his brother and his sister-in-law, and then from there I got pregnant, and obviously it was gonna be harder. We lived in an apartment with a 2-bedroom, and at that time I was pregnant. I got pregnant with Nati. And it was just going to be difficult living in a small bedroom, all three of us. Like, we didn't have that much space. So to think, like, where was I going to put the crib? Maybe it would bother them when she would start crying and stuff like that. So around when I was like 6 months, I told him that I wanted to move. And I looked and looked and looked for a place. And obviously, I had no credit. I was 18 at the time. He had no credit. We were young. So, I found these apartments, and they didn't really require any credit. So I was about 6 or 7 months. I was around 7. I think I was actually 8 months.
You were?
Yeah, because it was February, and then she was born in March.
Yeah, you're right.
So I was around 7 or 8 months. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up moving, and it was just us two in a room. So we didn't have any furniture. We didn't have basically nothing. Just our bed.
Not even a table.
No, we didn't have nothing at all. Just our bed. So we moved, and we were happy because obviously we were going to have our own place. Nothing was about to be born, and we were excited to see like how was everything going to work out just with us two in the house. So we ended up moving. I think it was around February, and Nothing was born in March, and we lived in the house for about 4 to 5 months when everything started going downhill. Well, basically when Nati was born, everything didn't work. Like his job was like on and off. At the time he wasn't working with his dad. So I think you were working with your cousins, right? Yeah.
I didn't have a stable job.
No, he didn't have a stable job. Like he would go to one job, and then there was no work there, so he'll go to another one. So it just wasn't a stable job, and we were just not in like the best situation with the newborn. You know, you have to spend so much money in the beginning with formula and diapers and so much like stuff that you need for them. So he wasn't working, so it was kind of a bad situation. And since I had just given birth, I wasn't gonna start working as well. And honestly, like in my opinion, I hate giving my kids to be taken care of like at the age Adrian is at right now. Nati was like, I started working when Nati was around like 7 or 8 months. So like when they start like not being as fussy, and it's easier to handle. I feel like it's easier. So he wasn't working, and there was like points that we didn't have anything to eat at home. We didn't have like $1 to like spend like for us. I remember there was times that his cousin would buy us diapers and our formula for nothing, and his stepmom, the car ever drove, like his cousin would take me to my appointments because the car that we had was what do you call it? Stick. So I wasn't even able to drive it, and that was just the worst car because it was 2 doors, and it was just not like, I guess you could say we weren't prepared at the moment to have a kid. Okay, so since he didn't have a job, obviously we didn't have an income, or a stable income, I could say, because he did work on and off, but it wasn't like a stable job. So we had income, or a certain income, like once in a while, but we never had enough for rent and our bills. So it was either take care of Nati good, get everything she needs, or like pay the bills and pay insurance, or pay the rent. So it was always like we had to choose which one we really needed. And there was points that we would even ask his dad, or ask someone or ask certain people, like, can you guys help us with like money wise? Then it came to a point that we were getting behind with our rent. Okay, so we were getting behind on our rent, and and our bills and all that kind of stuff. So then we obviously got letters saying if you don't pay rent in 5 days, you're gonna have to probably go to court and stuff like that. And we went to go talk to the manager, like of the apartments, and I think she gave us time the first time, right?
She gave us like 5 days, I think.
She gave us 5 extra days, and for that first month we ended up paying it. Then the second month came, or the next month, the following month came, and same thing happened. We didn't have enough, and we ended up getting a court letter saying that we had to present ourselves in court due to not paying our rent. And by that time, I was so stressed out. Nothing was, like I said, around 5 to 6 months. And I was so stressed out. I would cry all the time. We would argue all the time. And by that time, I think my dad was going to head to New York for a family reunion. And I was debating whether to go or not. And Ever had told me to go so I could like forget about everything and distract myself a little bit while he was gonna go to court by himself. And obviously I went because I was so stressed out and I didn't really want to worry about it. And I'm that type of person that it's just so stressful for me and all that. I just make the situation worse, basically. So yeah, so we went, and I had that in the back of my head, and I would text him all the time, be like, so what happened? And he ended up giving me good news that they had given us, I think it was 11 days, because he had told them the situation. And they had given us like 11 days to pay the full amount. So the days passed, and obviously we didn't get the money. And we did try. So the day came, and...
But to be honest, at that date, I remember that day. I still had hope. I remember that day, and I told her, I was like, I'm still gonna try my best to be able to get the money. Because to be able, guys, I know that there's a lot of you out there that maybe are going through this, or maybe are gonna go through this, or maybe you're not. But at the end, we learn from it. But to be honest, that day, I told her, I was like, hey, I'm gonna see if I can get the rent money. Some way or another way, I'm gonna try to get it. My worries was her. Because she was what? She was
5 to 6 months.
She was 5 or 6 months. She was very small. And we didn't have nowhere to go. We didn't have no money on our pockets. Not even gas on the car. Nothing at all to be able to move out. And like I said, the problem was that I didn't have a stable job because I had no experience. It was just a lot of things. So by that day, I was trying to get the money. I did what I could. To be honest, I asked a lot of people. And not only that, but I was trying to look for work. I was trying to do everything I could to be able to see if I could get the money. But there was no way to be able to do it, to be honest. And I remember the night came, and the next day by 9 o'clock, if we didn't have the rent money, we had to be out of the apartment. So I told her, I was like, I didn't tell her exactly, hey, we have to move out. Like, I just kept telling her, hey, I have faith that we're gonna get the money.
And we didn't have anything packed.
Nothing at all. And we didn't have anything packed. And I remember, like, it was around 10 o'clock, and I still kept trying and trying and trying. And to be honest, man, there's going to be times that even your own family is going to turn their back on you, and you're going to feel alone. As a man, to be honest, I feel like I don't even know how to explain how I felt at that moment. I was like, damn, I'm failing on my family. I'm failing on my kids. I'm failing on my wife. It was just a lot of feelings mixed up, man. I was like, damn, like, I even told her, she even knows, like, I even told her, I was like, there was a time that I told her, I was like, damn, maybe you could have been with somebody who, could have given you better things and stuff like that. But her answer was always, no, we're going to go through these together. And if God is doing this, it's because he's going to give us something better. And we just kept believing. And that's one of the things I'm going to tell you, that you have to believe in yourself.
Okay, sorry. But honestly, when you are going through stuff like this, I'm not going to lie, like, you... in the back of your head, you're going like, why
yes.
us? Like, why if we're Christian? Why if we say like we're seeking God, why are we going through this situation, knowing that we have a little kid? And I did think that, like, I remember that night, I like threw myself on the ground and I cried and cried. And I kept asking him, like, why us? Why are we going through this? Like why can't you provide and stuff like that? and mad, like angry with God. I remember I was so mad. I was like, it's like, why? If you're up there, why are you not listening to my prayers? Because I had prayed before, like, please God, give him a consistent job, give him a job that we're gonna have like a secure income, like a job that's gonna help with our family and all that. So obviously I was so angry at him. I was like, why God, why are you making us go through this? And obviously looking back now, I laugh and I'm like, God does everything for a reason. Everything that you're going through, everything that you're gonna go through, he has a purpose.
Yes.
Everything is for a reason. Like, he doesn't do it just cause, but it's for maybe for you to learn a lesson, maybe for you to realize that you need to seek him more. So that's what, now that I look at it and I'm like, dang, we actually went through so much as like in the beginning, like stuff that could have like broke us apart right there and then, but we fought and we've seen God work in our relationship, God work in our marriage. We've seen how he's provided for us when we felt like we haven't had no money for food, when we felt like we've had nothing, no rent money, no bill money, no food money, no money for diapers, no money for formula. We've seen how he's provided for one way or another.
Yes.
So that's one thing I'm going to tell you guys. Like, even though it seems hard at the time, even though it seems impossible, everything's possible for them.
Yeah, even if people tells you that you cannot do it or that you're not ready for it, maybe at the moment you're not gonna be ready for it. Nobody's ready to go through those moments like that. But trust me, you will go through it with God. You can do anything, to be honest.
Basically, around 10, 11 o'clock, we obviously knew we weren't gonna be able to have the money by 9 o'clock the next day. And so obviously I was crying and packing at the same time. And I put Natty down to sleep, I remember, and I prayed again, and I told him again, like, why us? I kept repeating that to myself, like, why are we going through this? Why us? So I didn't want to tell anyone from my family, because I know my dad obviously would have been like, come to my house, and, you know, my house is open, but I don't know, like, to make it, as a married couple, like as a newlywed basically, and just had a kid, you want to make it seem like you can do this, like prove them wrong, like at a certain way, like prove them wrong, like, no, I'm gonna be able to be an adult, I'm gonna be able to do this, and just not be criticized by anyone. So then the next day came, and I don't know, did you call your dad the night before?
I called my dad the night before, telling him that he could help me out to be able to move out the stuff. And he didn't really say if he could or not, to be honest, because I don't know, I guess he was mad or disappointed of me.
So his dad wasn't able to come, obviously, but I guess he was working, or I guess, like he said, he was disappointed or upset, as any parent would be, at like seeing their kid not fail, but like going through the situation that we went through.
Okay, so the next day, my stepmom came because, like she said, my daughter, maybe he was disappointed or he was upset, I don't know. But she came the next day and she helped us out. We had to throw everything out pretty much. We didn't have no place to go. We didn't even have a place to put our stuff in because everything happened so fast. And, that day, I remember that we put most of the stuff in the car that we had. And, we didn't have no money, like, at all. Nothing, nowhere to go. We were just in the car, and I told her, I was like, so what are we gonna do now? Where are we gonna go? Because we didn't have no place to go. But before that, my stepmom, she took us out to eat to Golden Corral. And we ate, and then after that, she was like, where are you guys gonna go? And I did not want to tell her that we didn't have no place to go, because, you know, I was afraid that she was gonna tell my dad. And then I was like, you know, we have a place to go, we're gonna go there. But we didn't actually have no place to go. And so at that moment, we was just waiting in the car, and Natty was sleeping in the car.
And by that time, your dad was living with your stepsister.
With my stepsister, yes.
So it's not like he was gonna be like, oh, you guys come stay at my place, because obviously he wasn't living on his own. And before all that happened, I remember we had like a certain time that we had to be out of the house, or else they were gonna lock the apartment.
It was a 9 o'clock.
And we were gonna be able to take anything else. So we tried to like rush and take as much as we could. And I remember we ended up leaving like this beautiful table that we got, that someone gave to us. It was like real wood. It was super heavy. And since it was just me and him and his stepmom moving, and one of us was watching nothing, so it was going to be super hard to take down. We didn't even know where to put it, so we ended up leaving it there.
Yes.
So whoever got it, they're lucky, because it was a really beautiful table. And then I remember he left all his weights outside of the house, like in the back.
Everything.
And he was like, I'm going to come and get it. Maybe it's there when I come back. And so, yeah, so we ended up leaving a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, as he said, we didn't eat nothing in the morning. We were thinking in the back of our head, like, what are we going to eat today? Like, what are we going to, like, how are we, like, what are we going to do? So, yeah, so thank God his stepmom ended up taking us to eat. And then after that, you texted your cousin, right?
I texted my cousin, which, to be honest, he was one of the persons that was there for us.
Yeah.
And I could say he was one of the most who actually helped us out and at that moment. So I texted him. I was like, hey, I told him the situation. He was like, man, just come over to my place. He was living in the basement with his parents, but he was like, he was like, just come over. And he actually got mad because you should have told me before. So we went to his house, and then there we took a shower. He bought milk for nothing. He bought diapers for nothing, and he gave us food. So at that moment, I kept thinking in my head, I was like, what am I gonna do still? Because I had them. I was like, I can't have them living over here. It was a lot of things.
And by that time, I was like super exhausted because the night before, obviously, we didn't sleep anything because we were packing everything. So yeah, so when we got there, I showered nothing, and we fell asleep. And obviously, I felt uncomfortable because I'm like, oh my goodness, like we're invading someone else's privacy or invading someone else's place. And they weren't there at the time. They were. I think they were working. All of them were working. So it was just us three in the house. But I was just so uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, it's another family that's gonna know what we're going through. And I guess it's like I don't know if it's like my ego or like just to know that more people are gonna know our situation, and just like what people would say. And I'm not that type of person that really cares what people think about me or what people say about me, but it's just to know like my family's gonna be in their mouths, like they're gonna know our problems, just stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I just felt so uncomfortable. So yeah, so then we were trying to think of where to go, and I think we left before they ended up getting home.
Yeah, we did.
So then he called this I guess this brother like from church, and he explained him the situation, and obviously where he lived he didn't have no place, but just to like, how you say the salgan in English?
I don't know how to say it.
Basically to like release all his worries, like to express himself to him. So yeah, so he called him, I remember, and then we were in the car driving around not knowing what to do or where to go, and with no money. So like we couldn't even stay at a hotel or motel for like the night because we had no money. And Natty by that time, she was getting fussy already. She was getting uncomfortable being in her car seat. So we called him, and then he called someone else, and they were like, yes, come to our house, like come right now, like you're welcome in our place. And thank God for them. So we ended up going to their place, and they gave us their daughter's room, and their daughter's room had two beds, I mean. And yeah, they were like, get comfortable here, like you guys can stay as long as you can. And they helped us out.
Yeah.
Like they helped us out. They helped us out a lot. So then Ever started working more. They helped us out.
They helped us out a lot, and pretty much, that is one of the things we have gone through. To be honest, and like I said, but to be honest, for me, the hardest part it was when I had to tell them that we had to move out. To be honest, for me, it was the hardest thing because the baby was laying down. She was just waiting for me to say, what were we going to do? And for me to say that we had to move out right at that moment, it was the hardest thing. We cried. I remember we cried so much. We cried so much for like an hour. And we just kept crying and crying and crying. And we just kept crying and just looking at the baby. And I was like, I didn't even know what was going through my head at that moment. Like, I didn't even know what to even think at that moment. I just felt so disappointed on myself. But like I said, there was hope inside of me, because we have always gone to church, and God has always been there for us no matter what. Even though we have gone through so many like situations, but God has always been there for us, man, all the time.
So even though, okay, so what I think is that maybe if it would just have been like us two going through it and not the like being in the picture, it would have been so much easier, because it's just us two. We could have even slept in the car for a few days and figured out what we were gonna do, or like find a temporary job to like get some money, to find where to go, to rent a room, or maybe we weren't even going to be in that situation, because we could have been renting a room in the first place, knowing that he wasn't going to have a stable job. But since when you have a kid in the picture, it's so much harder. Like you try your best to give them the best. Like you try the best for them to live good. You try the best for them to have everything they need. So I guess that's what made me more sensitive, like cry more and feel just so disappointed, so like useless, because obviously I wasn't able to work, or I didn't want to work at the time, and it made me feel like a terrible person as well. I know he says he felt disappointed as the man of the house, but it also made me feel like terrible, like dang, I could have helped him out. Maybe we weren't going to be in this situation. Maybe if I would have told my parents, my dad could have helped me out, and stuff like that. Like stuff like that went through my head, and I'm like, I'm having to go through this with my daughter. Like, she didn't ask for it, because she didn't ask to come to this world. But, yeah, it's just stuff that goes through your head at the moment. Like, you wish things were different. But from those things, you learn. Obviously, at that time, I was 18. Maybe I had just turned 19. He was 21. So we were super young. And we learned from our mistakes. We learned from all the stuff. And I could say at that time, we weren't managing our money the right way. We weren't managing the little income that we received the right way. Like, we would go out to eat thinking like, oh, we have this extra money, let's go out to eat, instead of saving it, thinking towards the future, like we might need that money in the future.
Sometimes you're gonna at those moments, you're gonna see people, you're gonna see family, and you're gonna be like, damn, like, why do they have a perfect family? Why do they have a perfect job? Like, why don't they have some nice cars, a nice house, and they look so happy? But to be honest, you don't know what they have gone through, man. Like, to be able to be in that position, like, you don't even know, maybe at that moment that you see them so perfect, and they're so happy, maybe at that moment they're going through a really bad situation, but they just don't show it at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you're gonna feel like, why am I here? And they're so happy, but you don't even know what they're going through at the moment. So don't look at other people. No, don't. That's one of the things I'm gonna tell you from experience. Don't ever look at other people.
Or try to compare your
Don't ever do that, because you're gonna put yourself down yourself, and that's not gonna be good. That's not gonna help you out. So what you gotta do is be like, you know what, I'm going through this right now, but I'm gonna get out of it. And like I said, maybe you don't go to church, or maybe you're not Christian or whatever, but you still can believe in God. And if you believe in God, He's gonna help you out. Let me tell you that, because everybody can turn their back on you. Your family, your parents, your brothers, whoever, your best friend is gonna do it. But God is never gonna do it, man. He always gonna help you out. So maybe right now you're going through a bad situation, or maybe you're gonna go through a bad situation, or maybe you just haven't. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to let you know that even if you go through it, stay strong.
Or the message behind this video.
Yes, the message behind this video is that you just gotta have faith and keep your head up, no matter what. Even if they tell you you're not gonna be able to make it, you're not gonna do it. Yes, you have to believe in you that you are gonna do it. You are gonna make it. And if you parents, like if you are young parents, maybe it's you struggling a little bit, but you're gonna learn from it. Learn from your mistakes. That's a number one rule. Learn from your mistakes. If you did a mistake, learn from that one. And then the next step, you're gonna do better, because you already went through something. So you're gonna be a better person. You're gonna be a better dad. You're gonna be a better parent. A better at everything, pretty much. So what I can tell you is that things happen for a reason. That's what I have learned. And I can tell you that And this is just one little thing that we went through.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was gonna say.
Yes.
Maybe it doesn't seem like a big problem, or maybe like I know there's people like we've heard stories that people have gone through worse situations where they have kids and they've just stayed out in the streets. Worse situations when they haven't had anything to eat for days and their kids cried like saying, "Hey mom, I'm hungry." Situations like that. Maybe we're not even the persons to come and talk to you guys about it, but we felt in our heart that to share this with you guys, to let you guys know that even though people have certain problems, even though you go through situations on a daily basis, keep your faith in God. Like He has a purpose for everything.
Yes.
He has a purpose why He's making you go through a storm. He has a purpose why you're going through the problem you're in. And let me tell you, like, these past few months have been so hard for me. And now, like, I look back and I'm like, He does have a purpose for everything. He knows what He's doing. And sometimes I, like, pray to Him and I ask Him, like, why, God? Why you make me go through stuff? But He has a reason for everything. So what I have to tell you is keep your head up. Always have faith in God. Pray. And just, if you're married, if you're a parent, a single parent, just make sure to, like, I guess, like, as us as a married couple now, we're realizing, like, we need to get closer to God. We need to pray more to Him. Our marriage needs to become stronger. And let me tell you, it's helped so much. Like, we have accomplished so much more stuff.
Yes.
Like, we set goals and we are, like, the goals are happening. And that, like, opens our eyes and be like, God is there. God made us go through that storm. God made us go through so much to bring us to this position now and to make us see that He is there.
Yes.
That He is going to provide in our hard times. That He's going to help us go through everything that is going to put in front of us. He's going to help us go through it. So we want to motivate you guys to look for God. Like, if you haven't yet, seek Him. It's just an amazing feeling to know that there's someone there that's always going to be there, even though when you feel alone, even though that you feel like there's no one there that understands you, the situation you're going through, God is going to be there. He's right there next to you. He's always next to you. He sees when you're crying. He sees when you're upset. He sees when you're laughing. He sees when you're having a good time. He's always there.
What I have to say is that some people think that the only way they can be good with God is if they're perfect. You're never gonna be perfect with God. Never. We're not perfect. We're not here to tell you that we're a perfect family, or that everything is beautiful and whatever and whatnot. It's not. We have to know that problems are gonna come. Situations are gonna come to you live until you die. But you have to know that with God by your side, you can go through it, man. No matter what, we're not perfect. We're gonna make we make so many mistakes every day, probably every minute, more than you pretty much. But let me tell you that God has always been there for us, no matter what. And I would just want to let you know, as a man, that don't ever feel like you can accomplish anything. You can do it. No matter what you're going through, you can do it. We did it. And if we did it, we know that you can do it too. And we hope that with this video, you learn something from it. And like I said, maybe you're not going through it, but maybe one day you will. And maybe you're going to remember, oh, I remember that Ever said this, or Jackie said this. And then I'm going to do this. And I'm going to stay strong because I know if they did it, I can do it. So that's the message that we want to get to you today.
So I hope it touches at least one or two people, if anything, or it touches all of you guys, whoever's watching this. Hopefully you guys are touched by this video and know that you are going to get through it. There's a rainbow after every storm. No storm lasts forever. Remember that. So even though you're going through hard times, even though you're going through bad problems, bad situations at the moment, remember that there's a light at the end of each tunnel. Remember that, okay? So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit the bell button so you're notified every time I post a new video. And stay tuned for the next one.
Bye.